The claws were out yesterday morning on The View. In this corner, weighing in at an undisclosed amount because it's not proper for a Southern gentleman to make assumptions about a woman's weight. She hails from the land of pretend. She models her makeup after the great Freddie Mercury, the pretender of pretenders, the great pretender, Alyssa Farah Griffin. And in this corner, hailing from parts unknown, not much is known about this lady as she continues to remain anonymous even after years on network television. She cries on Big Red's shoulder. She prefers her men older. The anonymous Ana Navarro. You know, the only thing that was missing on The View yesterday morning was the powerful boodle breeze of the whoopee cushion. And I miss you like yentas miss boodle breeze. Normally, when I am watching segments of The View for you guys so you don't have to expose yourselves to this level of toxicity, normally, when I'm watching the beauties, the segments are filled with fake joy and constant agreement. When the great Barbara Walters came up with the original concept for The View, it was supposed to be women from different backgrounds with different beliefs, politely debating one another in a classy, sophisticated manner. Now, obviously, sophistication escaped the studio many years ago. The first time the whoopee cushion hiked her leg and unleashed that powerful boodle breeze that lonely women travel thousands of miles to smell, all sophistication vanished from The View. When this show was originally created, it was supposed to be a safe space for soccer moms and lonely toms to watch so-called experts debate and discuss politics and pop culture. And for a while, The View stuck to its original premise. But over the last, I would say, decade, especially after the ladies were diagnosed with a stage 4 case of OMB, Orange Man Bad, The View has devolved into a rancid, pungent, despicable, revolting, hypocritical, embarrassing, polished turd. That embarrassment and humiliation, it was on full display yesterday morning. And the sad part is, these are grown women. Some of them are old enough to be great grandmothers, and they are not embarrassed by their behavior. For some reason, they seem to be proud of it. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. The topic today on the second channel is going to be the first biological male to hang up their hard hat and steel-toed boots and retire from the WNBA dump. Hoping to get that video uploaded before I go and play golf this afternoon, but if I don't, I will take care of it when I get home later tonight. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends over at Fluffer Noggin. Now, me personally, I am not a big snacker, but if there's one time of year when I start a new habit like that, it's during NFL season. One of my favorite snacks to eat while I'm watching NFL Red Zone is beef jerky. Problem for me is, a lot of beef jerky, it tastes like you were eating a flat tire. Good news is, I no longer have that problem because I started buying gourmet craft beef jerky from Fluffer Noggin. Now, you're probably thinking, what the hell is a Fluffer Noggin? Fluffer Noggin is gourmet beef jerky that is made with 100% organic brisket right here in USA. You don't have to worry about consuming foreign cows because these cows are homegrown. Each recipe from Fluffer Noggin is handcrafted with the perfect amount of seasoning. It is the first beef jerky that I have ever tasted that literally melts in your mouth. And this is no bullshit. It literally melts in your mouth. Fluffer Noggin comes in a variety of flavors. Mango habanero, like the one right here. They've got Korean barbecue. They even have a flavor called Carolina Reaper for you guys looking for some serious heat. Or, if you're like me, you'll just go with the original style. Fluffer Noggin is running a special right now where you can get 5 bags for $50 along with free shipping. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL at checkout and get your first 5 bags of Fluffer Noggin today. Yesterday morning, Melania Trump was the topic of conversation on The View. Now you would think With Melania Trump being a woman and the panelist on The View constantly claiming to be feminist, constantly preaching the good word about women being strong and independent, you would think the conversation about Melania Trump would be positive, possibly even uplifting. You know, if there's one thing I've learned about the Yentas in the years that I have been covering The View, they are only positive and uplifting with women when they meet certain standards. For example, if the ladies were talking about Rachel Levine, you would hear comments like, "Ooh, Rachel's so beautiful. I have never seen a set of more beautiful whiskers." If they were talking about the inspiration for prepubescent boys, Meg Rapinoe. "Ooh, did you see Meg's new hairdo? My stylist told me that Meg is seeing the same barber as Joy Reid." But when the ladies are talking about a former model, a former first lady, and hopefully a woman that is soon to be first lady again, when the ladies are talking about Melania Trump, there seems to be an abundance of jealousy, a lot of envy. I wonder why. Here in a couple of weeks, Melania Trump, she is releasing her memoir. Now, unlike the memoir of Jamel Hill, the publishing company, they are expecting Melania Trump to actually sell copies of her book. If I remember correctly, Smelly Jamelli, she only sold around 5,000 copies of her paper turd in 2 or 3 years. I would think that Melania Trump could easily eclipse that number in 2 or 3 hours. The book is scheduled to be released on October 8th, and there's a section in the book where Melania Trump is talking about body positivity. Now, as you guys know, body positivity, that is one of the preferred topics on The View. When the Lizzo posts bikini pics on the forklift, the whoopee cushion praises her bountiful beauty. Speaking of the Lizzo too, a couple of weeks ago, she told her followers that she has been on a weight loss journey, and she posted a picture showing that she has dropped a significant amount of weight. I wonder if the criticism that she was constantly receiving had anything to do with her decision to drop a few kilos. But either way, good for the Lizzo. Years ago, when she was still working as a model, Melania Trump, she posed for some, I guess you could call them risque photos. Back then, you would have to buy certain magazines to look at pictures like this. Today, you would just have to subscribe to OnlyFans. In her book, Melania Trump defends women who make this decision while talking positively about the importance of being comfortable with your own body. Now, keep in mind, these are talking points that the Yentas have supported in the past. Yet, for some reason, when Melania Trump is the messenger, it is suddenly no bueno. Now, to her credit, Alyssa Farah Griffin tried to point out the hypocrisy with her fellow panelists, or maybe she was pretending to point out the hypocrisy. If so, this was the first time that the great pretender gave a convincing performance. With AFG somewhat defending Melania Trump, it caused feelings of fake outrage in Ana Navarro. She was shocked. She was surprised. For the first time in years, a woke welfare collector on The View had the audacity to defend someone in the Trump family. Now, unsurprisingly, this resulted in uncontrollable toxic mouth farts and the Yentas arguing while talking over each other. Watch for yourself.
We all appreciate the female body, Melania. Listen, your husband appreciated Stormy Daniels' body plenty. Am I right?
Oh, my word.
Yeah. The Republican Party has long kind of ridden the family values, the purist people, the judgment on everyone else's lives, from banning books to shutting down drag performances.
I saw it drop, and I was just like, finally, a Trump is on message. This is what the people are talking about. I don't think you defeat misogyny, sexism, slut-shaming by engaging in it. I think that you should, if that's what you stand for, you shouldn't do it to Melania Trump any more than you should to someone else.
One of the problems with this whole thing is that when she was the first lady, you could only refer to her as a former model. You could not mention the photos. If you mentioned the photos, you were canceled.
Do you defeat ills in society by engaging in the same ills?
I think you need to confront them with hypocrisy. I think
so. You defeat hypocrisy with more hypocrisy?
No, I think you confront hypocrisy and you call it out when you see it. I also think that to me it was really funny.
The hypocrisy, not the act that you're trying to change.
I'm one that's going to call it out every single time I see it. When I see somebody that calls themselves the party of God and the party of religiousness, supporting Donald Trump, I'm going to call out the hypocrisy.
Do you have a problem with slut shaming, though?
Do I have well, I have a problem when Republicans do it plenty. Kamala Harris.
You have a problem with it.
With slut shaming? Not a bit. I have a problem with hypocrisy.
I'm making an announcement. I'm doing some porn for the blind. So,
my inside sources are telling me that millions of blind men were absolutely terrified yesterday morning at the possibility of the first thing they'll ever see being Joy Behar. First of all, one of the anonymous panelists, she claimed that the Republican Party is constantly judging people and pushing family values. Now, what she conveniently fails to mention is someone has got to push family values because deacons at Woke United Methodist, they are actively trying to destroy the family. Rarely do I agree with Alyssa Farah Griffin. I can tell you with 100% certainty I have never been impressed with the Great Pretender, but yesterday morning, I was impressed with Alyssa Farah Griffin. She made Ana Navarro look like a fool. She kept asking her if she had a problem with slut shaming. And for a brief second, the clear bias of Ana Navarro, it was revealed. I only have a problem when Republicans do it. Exactly. Any and everything is a problem when it's coming from someone that you don't agree with politically. If you remove Melania Trump from this equation, and they're talking about pretend Dr. Jill Biden, for example, this conversation on The View, it would be completely different. Sun hosting claimed that when Melania Trump was in the White House as First Lady, if you mentioned these photos, you would be canceled. Let me ask you something. When has anyone in the woke media been canceled? When has a deacon at Woke United Methodist been canceled? Well, KC, what about Diddle? You mean Diddy? I guess you could say Diddy is canceled, but cancellation seems to be the least of his worries right now. Right now, he's worried about life in prison. And believe me when I tell you, Diddy ain't the only one worried. Hollywood, the entire music industry, they are deeply concerned with his trial. I wonder why. This segment yesterday morning, it really highlights the hypocrisy on The View. As soon as Alyssa Farah Griffin started speaking up for Melania Trump, they tried to shut her down. The View claims to be a safe space for all. But there's only one opinion allowed on this dump. There's only one narrative that is acceptable. If you deviate from that narrative, you're accused of being a hypocrite by the other hypocrites. You know, I was actually surprised that Alyssa Farah Griffin was willing to call out Ana Navarro. I would also be surprised if something like that ever happens again. I am sure she received a passionate lecture backstage for deviating from the approved narrative. But give me your thoughts on this. Alyssa Farah Griffin makes Ana Navarro look foolish. For a brief second, Ana Navarro's bias was revealed, and she openly admits that she only has a problem with shaming when Republicans are doing it. Let me know what you think. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.